We must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection. Now, if I may retain my liquids here for one moment, I'd like to continue the redundance of my quote-unquote intestinal tract. See, because to preclude on the issue of world domination would only circumvent
all of his circumcision. You know, there's something about my haters that just gives me a tickle. Do you know that fool? This Ralph the Wise person actually said, Grace, that he remembers me stealing his his Huffy bike in Camden, New Jersey, in Pollock Town. And he said he couldn't see me, but he knew it was me because I was running away screaming some Philly stuff.
Hmm.
It's
I really don't
unbelievable.
like these liars.
They sat around. It's wait, but then this Mike Larry dude.
Jaguar Wright did it live that same night, and she made the salmon shit for her man with the bacon and all that. I was watching that shit. God damn it! I will give it to her. And I tell her go get your man so I can slap the shadow.
That part. So let's get started, shall we?
Uh,
Girl, the haters be hating, don't they?
mad. They're mad. They're mad.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong.
Well, for the right people, girl, they're mad.
Oh, honey.
You know
Honey,
their
they
edge
be
is about
so
to
mad.
go. You know they have indigestion and diseases.
A Jiffy bike. I stole his Jiffy bike. You want to know what's really funny about that whole thing?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's super duper duper funny. This boy has to be at least 15 to 20 years younger than me.
Girl, no.
He,
No,
he's
girl.
he doesn't sound like he's even hit 30 yet. I'll be 48 in May. So let's see. Even if he is, let's just say he's 30, 35, that still gives me a good 13 to 15 years on him.
Girl.
Camden, New Jersey. My mother taught in Camden, New Jersey. I have family and friends in Camden, New Jersey. I spent a little time in Camden, New Jersey, but why would I be in Camden when I was in Philly? Like, it's just so funny. And what's even funnier than that is he's sitting there talking about a part of town in Camden I ain't never messed with. Like East Side, Park Side, down Broadway. But Pollock, my cousins lived in Pollock. I never went to Pollock. Like, all Pollock was just crime and crack. Broken glass everywhere. People standing on the corner, man, they just don't care. Like, seriously. I don't know, girl. I
It's
don't know
the
why everybody
outlandishness
got
of
to
the lies
lie.
for me.
Why you got to
They be
lie, Craig?
stop
Why you got
lying.
to lie?
You're right. Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
But even the
Yeah, right.
logistics of that whole story didn't make any sense.
No.
Because at the time, he talking about he was a kid So 15 years. Because I'm trying to do the math on this. I'm trying to see how it makes sense. I really want to highlight the lack
Mm-hmm.
of sense.
Girl.
So I'm about 15 years older than you,
Mm.
at the least. I stopped riding bikes when I started stealing cars. And I was doing that at 12 and 13. This child wasn't even born.
Girl.
I had my first car bought, paid for with insurance by the age of 17. Why would I need to steal somebody's Jiffy Huff bike?
Girl, I remember the story that you told me about that boo thing that you had about that age. The one who really had whips. Like,
Yeah,
lies. They're
like
lies.
bikes. Why would I need a bike when I can steal a car? More importantly than that,
Not a
why
bike,
would I
girl.
need a bike? Why would I need a bike when all niggas did was pick me up in luxury cars starting from the age 14?
Okay.
Like it's the clout for me that I'm really,
Mm.
really, really not jiving with. I'm just not jiving with the clout. It's just too much. It's too
And I thought
much.
clout had
So
to be
now
intelligent or
th-
intellectual. Like,
they
they just
had almost
lying.
350 people in there for about 5-6 hours, and that's
What?
where it ended. That's where it ended.
What?
People talking about, oh my
And
God, I wear my hair wrapped up, and now look at what she's wearing. She's copying me. Because I had on a head covering.
girl,
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
like, I'm tired. I'm tired of lying.
Weird. Weird. Oh, and guess what? Guess what else they discussed on that very, very, very sad panel?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you gonna get a kick out of this, Grace.
Mm-hmm.
They're now calling British authorities to try to put a case
Don't
on
nobody got
Sean
time.
on Sean
Nobody has
Atwood.
time. Girl, nobody's got time. Are you for real? Please tell me
Oh,
you're just trying to
oh,
make me
they
laugh
want to
this
put a
morning.
case on Sean Atwood because he's gobbling up all the content, girl.
Girl, I know this much. If Sean end up in jail, I will not be pleased.
Sean already been to jail, in and out, and he's a
We
low
tired of that.
citizen.
Bologna
He's got
sandwiches
his
are nasty.
own brand. He's got books. He's got everything these niggas ain't got. What they got. He also has an almost million subscriber platform that runs content 24 hours a day. And
Mm.
now that he is doing content with Jaguar,
You better not be harassed. You better not miss not 1 hour.
he's not.
I
They're
don't.
just sitting there talking to make themselves feel better while they go broke, crying about what
That
terrible
line.
Christmases they all had.
Girl lying, talking about somebody helping the homeless. Girl, Fiona, stop that. Mm-mm. Girl,
Honey,
I'm not letting that go. Mm.
honey, all she trying to do is compete with Tokyo Tony.
Girl, why? Like,
That's what she trying to do. She just want to compete with Toke. You know, because this is what
mhm.
these people do. They don't have any originality. They don't have any sense. They're all
No,
stupid. You
that's
know, like it's just it. That's the sad part about it, is that they actually think that stupidity should be rewarded.
and that's why I draw the line. Like, look what stupidity come at a high price, and look at what they're paying.
Well, know what's
Like,
funny? Ain't
what is
nobody
wrong
heard
with you?
hide nor hair storm Monroe.
Oh, really? Huh.
Not since he took down that video.
Oh, he took it down, did he?
Oh, that video is down. It's privated, so not even his
Mm.
subscribers can get to it.
Mm.
Subscribers can't get to it. Members can't get to it.
I noticed
Why
that
would you
ethnic
private it?
content has switched up
Why
too.
would you private it? Was there too many people coming over there reviewing it and saying it's AI?
Mm.
And that poor sad little child, that little Danny, dumbass Danny. That poor girl. I wonder if she's gotten sick and tired of sitting over there listening to herself talk yet, because ain't nobody else paying attention.
You already know how I feel when I hear her speaking, girl. I already told you. I already told you.
Well, I know how you feel about the lies.
Oh no, I was
All
talking
of the
about how they
lies are
stay up
just a
for them
little
8 hours
bit.
all through the night. But yeah, we'll keep
You
going.
want to know what I'm mad about? That she's
Yes,
going
ma'am.
to go and take a receipt from my page and crop it tight so it doesn't show that she got it from my channel.
Girl, girl.
Like, how you going? See, this is the problem that I have with these trolls.
Mm.
They need me.
Yeah, girl. And they so ungrateful with it. Like,
They
it's all
need
that for
me.
me.
Child, they need me. Do you hear me? They
Girl,
need me.
like a moth to a flame, girl. I'm
They wouldn't
telling you.
know what to do without me. And guess what? It's apparent that they
Mm.
don't. Because
Girl.
all they do is sit around talking about me. Even A2 Titties want to sit up there and do his little disinformations talking about
Mm.
talking about why is how is Jaguar right relevant, and she's not, and she's nobody, and who is she to talk about Leo Cohen and whoopty whoopty woo and yada yada, and she's a nobody. Why are you listening to her?
Mm. That's
It's
what they're
funny.
singing. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they saying.
It's real hilarious.
That's what they
It's real
saying.
hilarious.
mm, I think so too.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think I think it's I think it's damn funny.
Girl. 5 hour shifts and they not worried, huh?
5 to 8 hour shifts and they asses can't seem
Every
to
night.
get it together.
Every night. Like that
I've
overtime check
never
has to
seen
be off.
anybody talk so much about
Mm-mm.
someone that they just think it's so irrelevant, and yet they talk about me all day. They say, I ain't talking about her no more. She's over. She's not relevant. Turn around, they talking about me again. They steal my content. They use my receipts. Don't even credit me for them.
They stalking your man, they AI in your stuff. Like,
Oh, honey, that
yeah.
British strumpet said that
Oh,
me and Odell broke up because of his exclusive interview with her. And she just, oh, they just love Odell. They love Odell.
girl. They so sad.
I'm
I
still
keep
trying
telling
to
them
get
this
to this
bald headed bitch
math
from here.
on this Huffy bike though.
Girl, not this bike. Like,
Yeah, this
do
Huffy
kids
bike.
today even steal bikes? I thought they said that the children today are stealing cars.
Honey, let's be clear. That little weird story, clearly made up, came from this person.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection. If I may retain my liquids here for one moment, I'd like to continue the redundance of my quote-unquote intestinal tract. See, because to preclude on the issue of world domination would only circumvent
His circumcision.
Girl,
Now,
girl,
all I can say is
girl.
when you hear people talking, consider the source.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh, girl, there's so much going on in there.
There's a lot going on.
Lot going on.
Everything's going on. Like, people don't know if up is down. People don't know if left is right. Like, there's a lot going on.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
They're
mm.
worrying about these bald headed liars. Mm-mm.
You want to know what's interesting?
Yes, ma'am.
Everything that people have seemed to forgotten about in the midst of all of these lies and distraction being told. You know that dumbass Danny girl, she actually had the audacity to sit there and say that I was leaving Odell for Ronnie Bo.
Girl, what? What? What?
Because Ronnie
Girl,
Bo got
what?
a cash app hustle, and that's where I want to be. And Odell, he ain't got he ain't got it. And
Uh,
and, and
Wait,
I'm about to
bruh,
leave Odell for Ronnie
we're
Bo.
not, we're not going to skip this part. Wait a minute. Hold on. Do you see what I mean by the mind of these people? These are bald headed as shit.
The
They
mind of
do
these
not know.
people, the mind
Yes,
is a terrible thing
yes.
to waste.
And theirs is just gone. This is why the
Mm.
devil is having a field day.
Well, I mean, we can't feel. Let's be real. They are working with a big handicap now. They ain't got no more spies in my life, though they're working hard to try to put some in.
Child, aren't they?
Do you know I have a former troll mod that is now sending me receipts to help me?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I pass. The receipt came from another content creator that I'm no longer discussing.
Hmm.
I will not give that worthless piece of Philly trash an
Mm-mm.
ounce of credit for anything. And you can go run back and tell that tree bitch that. No,
Mm-mm.
thank you. I don't need your help to prove that Sean Davy Way said to Richard Lomax that he is the one who had my truck removed, that he is the one who had my family removed and set me up. I already have him on recording saying that. Why would I need a receipt of hearsay when I have him recorded saying it out of his own mouth? Why would I
Mm-mm.
need why would I need that receipt? So I need a receipt from a grubby bitch from the sector who's been lying on me. Like, this is the same woman that passed around that terrible lie that my father essayed me and Father Giovanni and that I enjoyed it.
What?
Yeah.
Man.
But of
Girl,
course,
all
they
right.
got that from my sister Lachelle, who told that to Tasha K.
Yeah, all right. All right. All right.
It's just funny how they go to crackheads
Oh,
for
I'm
their
glad you said
information
it.
because my sister is a
Girl, I'm glad
confirmed
you said it.
crackhead. My sister
Girl,
is a
I'm glad you
confirmed.
said
I
it.
used to watch my sister smoke crack when we was kids, when I was young. Like, Shelly's 9 years older than me. I remember the first time I saw her bass. She was 19. And that was the first time I saw her. For all I know, she had been doing it before then. And she's kept doing drugs consistently throughout her entire life. It's funny, they like digging into everybody's past that's attached to me. Why don't they dig into Lachelle? There's plenty of it there. All of her evictions, the stuff that they try to put on me, all of her drug abuse, the stuff they try to put on me, all of her very, very, very failed relationships because no man wants to stay with her. It's so funny how they've spent all of their time for almost 5 years now trying to fit me with my sister's character. It's weird.
Girl.
All of the things they forget about along the way while they're coming up with new lies and new stories. I don't need no receipts that come from nobody that's ever disparaged me. Do yourself a favor. Please stop sending me things from weirdo stalkers. Especially when I got the receipt of the man saying it himself out of his own mouth. Sound like I don't need no receipt. I got my own. You know, These troll mods, they always have the same MO. They
Mm-hmm.
come one of three ways. God led them to me and told me I was a prophet and they wanted to follow me and do this and do that.
Shame on
Or they used my deceased son. My deceased son came to them and whoopty whoopty whoop and yada
you. You
yada
know how
yada.
mad I get over that one.
And then there is the troll in distress. When they send
Girl, now
you
that's the interesting one.
when they send you someone who comes to you, they've been attacked by one of your enemies, and they did it because they were standing up for you, and now they need your help, and whoopty whoopty woo, and I want to stand with you, and I want to mod for you, and whoopty whoopty woo. In the words of the Grinch, blah blah blah. You know, it's funny. People really think that I'm a trusting idiot. But when they keep doing the same thing over and over again, I would have to be an idiot not to question certain things that I see, I've heard said, and things that people do. You know, when somebody comes to me and asks me for help and then I provide them help and they don't use that, what that tells me is that you need to let that person figure it out for themselves. You know, my father used to say, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for life.
Mm-hmm.
I teach people how to fish. If I've taught you how to fish and you still ain't catching nothing crying about you hungry, well, I done showed you how to get yourself fed. But if you can't get fed, then, you know, that would be on you. I don't like when people mistake my kindness for weakness, and I don't like when people play around with me trying to make it seem like
Mm.
I can't figure out a troll when I see one. It's very insulting to my intelligence.
I've been
And
saying is no one else insulted.
what?
I've been saying is no one else's intelligence insulted. Like I'm angry watching a lot of stuff go on.
Yeah, we need to do that reading about that person. We ain't gonna do that here. I
But
guess
that's
we
all
can
right.
do it after we finish. I don't think I'm ready to hold that out all the way out front yet. I think I wanna see where this is gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
But trolls beware. We're paying attention to all things. And we see all things. Let's get to this thumbnail.
Girl, look how funny. Jesus was the first card out the deck.
What?
Yeah, Jesus was the first card that just pulled out for the deck. You know, we're fine.
Uh.
Mm-hmm. That's a service.
All
Oh, you
my
serve the
children.
universe their view.
This ain't nothing but a soap opera. All my children.
Girl.
This ain't nothing but a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what I find interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has ever done a thumbnail like this.
Girl. Mm-mm.
It's all very
No, they haven't.
telling.
Girl, it's a marvelous photo.
And of
Marvelous
course, this is
photo.
all alleged. It's all alleged.
It's a beautiful thumbnail. I like the artwork. It's amazing.
You
I like the
know, I
color.
love dysfunctional families. I
Oh
came
Lord.
from one. Dysfunctional families are kind of like a hobby to me. But when you
Wait a
got
minute.
a man that likes spreading his seed all over the place,
Ooh.
eventually certain things are just going to start to look obvious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I saw that AI video that they did of Beyonce and Blue Ivy, where they had Beyonce's face, but they had altered her features just a little bit, and then it rolled right over into Blue Ivy's face, which had been altered just a little bit, and it's so interesting because it said spitting image of her mother, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Oh, oh, no.
Are you kidding me? Wanna know what's funny? Have you noticed that all of these children got that same yellow brown undertone?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that makeup that they put on that child is lighter than her actual face color.
Mm-hmm.
They lightened her up.
They're making everybody like they're not slick.
It's weird
Strange.
because when I sit here and I'm looking at the Carters and then I'm looking at Rymere next to Blue Ivy, next to Cat. The shoulders, the neckline, that jawline. But do you know what really strikes me? If you were to take Kathy's hair and push it back, that forehead too.
There's a very unique nose, the little one.
Well, if you look at her nose and her mouth, they don't look much different than Ramir's.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody done a side-by-side comparison of Ramir and Blue Ivy yet?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Okay, I have videos of everything else. Nobody was curious.
Nobody.
That's a shame.
Justice lost, found, or denied. Ramir's justice has been denied for many years, and I'm so glad that he's finally going after that corrupt courthouse in New Jersey who lied and said Mr. Carter didn't have property in the state of New Jersey when his mother filed for his inheritance rights and child support. I just find it funny that now all of a sudden it turns out that he did have property and their suit was legitimate and that the judge was fixing things in the backdrop. A lot of people think Ramy is not going to get justice. I think he is. What do the cards think? I'm curious.
Oh no, it's working for the innocent. This is a catastrophic time for the bad people. Skip a bad time. It's gotten catastrophic for y'all.
Oh, I know. I felt their fear last night.
Man.
It was almost overwhelming.
You know?
But when you look at Ramir's mouth and nose, looks a lot like Blue Ivy's to me.
Yeah, just these two little people have the same facial structure, just if they had a different mama, you know.
Exactly.
I don't know this young man's mama, but
Wanda and Kathy don't look nothing alike.
I didn't think so because those children only look like one person that's on that screen.
I know. And meanwhile, just sitting here looking at Kathy next to Blue Ivy, it's haunting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Only difference between the two is that Kathy was a grown adult woman when she wore this dress. And that little girl is a child, 12 years old. Tall, lanky, and thin, just like Kathy. You know, Beyonce has weight trouble. She has big weight issues. She's naturally thick boned. If that girl don't do anything extreme, she's going to be a size 16, 14 at the smallest, naturally. Naturally. Doesn't seem like her daughter's inheriting any of that. And Jay-Z's mother is not a thin woman and never was. Genetic makeup ain't adding up. And Celestine wasn't either. Solange is the only one that's of that thin structure. But Blue Ivy don't look nothing like Solange at all. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Now, we're not saying it is, we're not saying it ain't. What we are saying is that it all looks very strange to me. Why has nobody ever done a side by side of Blue Ivy and Rymere before?
I think they have other things that they're focused on, bones, strange weather patterns, your last breakfast.
And yet, in the midst of all of the hoopla of everything that people are trying to ignore, Jaguar Wright is now the new great distraction. Don't look at the facial features. Don't look at the timeline. Don't ask what happened to Kathy White's baby. Let's just talk about Jag. She's a liar. She's a liar. She's a liar. Mm. But when I look at the woman in the frame, Shanquilla, it's been 2 years since she passed. And nothing. Justice lost, found, or denied. I would have to say justice lost for this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, when she passed away, they were all over YouTube. Oh, justice for Shanquilla, justice for Shanquilla, justice for Shanquilla. YouTubers even got in touch with her father and promised her father, Mr. Robinson, that they would not stop until justice was served on behalf of his daughter. Got that man involved, started petitions, started a GoFundMe that they think nobody knows about. You remember when that weirdo dummy Danny was sitting there talking about how Ronnie Bo was scamming people because he was giving the book away for free because he just wanted to build a rapport and upsell them on something else and whoop-de-whoop. Like, she seemed to understand how that worked so articulate. Yeah. Like, she articulated that with such precision.
Yep.
And I know why and how she done it. Because that's what she did with the death of Shanquilla Robinson.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Danny Robinson was supposed to be the avenger that was going to get justice for Shanquilla. First, Sean Davy Way worked up the story and got the story hot and then handed it off to Danny. And Danny and the Avengers were going to get justice for Shanquilla. Where's the justice? Y'all worried about sitting here all day and all night trying to prove that I'm a liar. And this woman is dead. And y'all promised her father that y'all were going to hold up the mantle here on YouTube and you were going to get to the bottom of it and you weren't going to rest until justice was granted for Shanquilla. You know that dummy Danny, she actually said a couple of months she was going back to her Shanquilla Robinson content, and guess what? No
must have
thumbnails,
mentioned it
no
at that
video.
time, huh?
Huh?
You must have called her out on it around that time when she said she was going back
Yeah, I
to
did.
it.
I did call her
Mm-hmm.
out on it. And guess what?
Yeah.
Still ain't done no content on Shanquilla. Nothing. Nothing. And guess what? She was covering Shanquilla before me. She used Shanquilla Robinson to build up her channel to make it look like she was out for justice for this poor slain girl who was killed by, unalived by her friends. What happened to that, robot? What, the Shanquilla story not hot enough? Or are you just so addicted to JAGUARWRIGHT content that you can't follow through on what you said you were going to do? Meanwhile, just like you accused Ronnie Bo of, you collected thousands of names and IP addresses as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes one to know one. And if you're able to speak that avidly about how people scam doing this and doing that and getting IP addresses and emails and all of that stuff, well, then I guess you can talk about it so thoroughly because that's exactly what you did with Shanquilla Robinson. You scavenger. You're a whole scavenger. What you got to say about that, Grace?
Girl, these are bottom of the barrel. Like, y'all are so trifling. Y'all are beyond trifling. Like, I can't wait for the tide to come and sweep them. Because I'm tired of people like that existing. I can't wait for the tide to come sweep them. It's coming. But when I hear stuff like this, I wish it would come a little bit sooner. They're lucky that God's timing is the only time. Girl, they said here telling this woman's father that they're gonna help, and then this what they turned around and did. Mind you, I remember what the numbers looked like when it was about Shanquilla, Miss Danny. I remember when it started being Jaguar numbers. Y'all play too much with people's lives, girl. I'm tired of them.
And apparently, the Jaguar numbers are better and more important than justice for Shanquilla.
And that's exactly why now I'm glad that every time Jaguar is attached to these troll channels, their numbers are pivoting. They spiraling into oblivion. Like, girl, you already know how I really feel about them. They're lucky that we're not trying to get YouTube all in your face.
Why don't we find out how Shanquilla feel about it?
The rage that I felt while I was over here, I was pulling. I sure was.
Well, how about you take over for a minute? I'm going to mute up and let you handle this part. How is Shanquilla Robinson feeling about all of this betrayal by these YouTubers who vowed to get justice in her name and for her father?
There's rage. Like, she said this was a long time ago, before when we knew that we were going to sit down and have this chat. She said it. She said, I've been abandoned. And then that's again with society. It's more than just for Shanquilla, it's more than just staying in these trolls and whatnot. Like, it's society. It's the world we live in. Everybody forgot about it. These roaches on the internet just wanted to feast on her father right quick, like vultures. Like, y'all really just take pleasure in trying to feed off of carcasses. Like, what is wrong with y'all? And this is why I see y'all, who y'all truly are.
I'm starting to think there's a reason why they abandoned it.
Yeah.
Shanquilla, why did they abandon you?
Well, there was a process. Yeah. It was a process. They had to. Now, did they care about her in the beginning? Honestly, I'm going to say no. Because it was all for the dollar. Because everybody was talking about Shanquilla, so let's just hop on the Shanquilla train. But then another train was coming.
But then the second that they contacted her father, the second that Danny and And Sean Davyway and King Payne and them contacted her father. And they got involved with her father. You know what we know of them is when they start making real world contact, it's because they're trying to obstruct something. They're trying to create.
That case that was coming because the things that happened to that man's daughter were egregious, illegal. And we all
Did
remember
they
very well.
know? Wait a minute. Let's go over the details of what happened to Shanquilla. She was
Girl,
a
sure.
social media. She was a social media influencer, wasn't she?
Now that part I don't know. I found out about her when the
Hold
video
on a
came out
second.
in the case.
Hey, wait a minute. Siri,
Girl, Ishtar came out just
Wikipedia on
a couple months
Shanquilla Robinson. Okay, let's see.
I
Shanquilla
remember them
Brin.
reporting that she had a business.
Hold on, I am. I'm checking. Shanquilla Bernada Robinson, born January 9th, 1997. Oh, she was 4 years younger than Giovanni. And passed October 29th, 2022. Now, that was right around Halloween.
Hmm.
You know how these weirdos love sacrificing people on Halloween. Okay, all right. So, was an American businesswoman, founder of a women's fashion clothing line, hairstylist, and social media personality from North Carolina, United States. She was unalived while on vacation in Mexico. She passed on October 29th, 2022, shortly after traveling with a friend and a group of loose acquaintances to the Mexican resort town in Cabo San Lucas.
Girl,
There
since
was,
when was it a friend and loose acquaintances? Since when? That's new.
well, this is what Wikipedia is saying. She went with
Oh, really?
someone who
Okay.
was a friend, and I guess her friend's friends,
All right.
to the Mexican resort town of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. There was considerable public interest and intrigue surrounding her cause of unalivement. In addition, substantial collaborative efforts of citizen journalism, YouTubers, basically, and amateur news bloggers played an important role in bringing attention to Robertson's passing, to the point of Mexican authorities facing enhanced scrutiny, particularly because the municipal police department initially treated the unalivement as a case of conventional tourist alcohol
Hmm.
intoxication. A video later surfaced which showed Robertson being attacked in a rental villa prior to her passing. The circumstances leading to her mysterious unalivement, as well as the medical treatment, police report, and forensic inquiries into the cause of her untimely passing, have led to an ongoing high profile transnational criminal investigation within the United States and Mexico. Let's see, what does it say about her background? Shanquilla graduated from a historically black college, Winston-Salem University, that's in North Carolina. She ran several boutique beauty and child's hair braiding businesses under her Exquisite Kids and Exquisite Boutique brands in her hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte's a big party town too. A lot of YouTubers go there and party. On October 28th, 2022, Robinson traveled to Mexico for a short vacation with a friend and five travel companions, three women, three men, some of whom have been identified as Khalil Cook, Malik St. Patrick Dyer, Winter Essence Donovan, Alice Michelle Hyatt, and Dejanay, oh, that's so ghetto, Dejanay Jackson, and Nazir Wiggins. There were also they were also nicknamed the Cabo Six. The group checked into a rental luxury apartment in the Puerto Los Cabos resort at the resort town of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And then they had the investigation, the passing, the criminal charge of homicide. Let's go over that. On November 23rd, Daniel De La Rosa Anaya, Attorney General of Baja California General Prosecutor's Office, announced an arrest court order relating to a homicide had been issued against a person identified as an American, the direct aggressor in the death of Shanquilla Robinson. During a video interview with local newspapers, BCS Noticias has clarified the cause of death, stating that Robinson did not die from alcohol intake or injuries sustained in the fight, but rather from a direct assault causing a spinal cord fracture. The prosecutor's office had approached Mexican federal prosecutors and U.S. officials to carry out all relevant procedures, issuing an Interpol red alert to locate the suspects in the United States and working on formal extradition proceedings to extradite the suspect back to Mexico. The governor of Baja California, Sir Victor Manuel Castro Cosillo, echoed the same sentiments. He reflected upon the beginnings of the investigation when he had not the precise data on that occasion, and that it had initially been reported as an accident in a hotel, but then the investigation turned out it was not, but rather a femicide. Local news reported that an arrest warrant had been issued for one of Robinson's travel companions, but to date, no one has been officially charged.
Can you repeat again for me? Because I want to make sure that I heard that correctly. Can you repeat what they said about the injuries that were sustained? What was the cause of death again, according to them? And what did they say that she died from actually?
It says during a video interview with local newspaper BCS Noticias, he clarified the cause of death, stating that Robinson did not die from alcohol intake or injuries sustained in a fight, but rather a direct assault causing a spinal cord fracture. Sounds like they snapped that girl's neck.
And now I see why they were trying to force the issue. You remember how when all this was coming out, it went from justice for Shanquilla, y'all need to watch our friends, until all of a sudden it became that it was a trans person who unalived her. And all of that got swept real quick. All of it.
The
Now,
second that came out.
yeah, the second that narrative was coming, all of that, it got real quiet after that. Now, I never assumed that no one did nothing, but I do remember that I remember what the YouTube
Understand
journalists
this.
were saying.
Let's just deal with what you said. Shanquilla was unalived by a transgender female.
Mhm.
That person was born a man and unalived a cisgender, naturally born woman.
But it doesn't sound the way they were trying to word it. Because I remember they kept saying that it was in the fight when her neck got snapped. Based off
That's
of what
not
you
what
just
this.
read, that's not
That's not
accurate.
what this news report just said. It said that it
Right.
wasn't from
Mm-mm.
her being beaten. It wasn't from the drinking. It was because her spinal cord had been fractured, which means it was severed.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody snapped
Mm-hmm.
that girl's neck.
Mm-hmm. After that video was done.
A man who lives as a woman snapped that woman's neck. Probably out of sheer jealousy. That wouldn't have been good for the trans agenda here in the United States.
Mm-mm.
A trans person being on trial for unaliving a woman. And no extradition.
Yep.
Who's protecting this transgender assailant?
And it's also funny. Shanquilla and this crew, they were out there in North Carolina. I might not be informed. Is there a reason why Interpol or whoever's division in North Carolina didn't communicate with Mexico? Why did Mexico have to go all the way to Cali? Is this proper? Because I know that the feds is here in Louisiana.
They don't want the bad press. And if social media rivalry had anything to do with it, those two things alone could have created quite a bit of prejudice towards the trans community.
Mm-hmm.
It would have turned black women against black trans women completely.
And they know that the greatest ally that the trans community has is black women. That's not a good
Exactly.
black women will come stand in the gap for them.
Exactly. Did the government want this shut down? Because if the government wanted it shut down, we now believe, allegedly, the government is influencing YouTube.
Not only that, because now that we've had this dive, and after everything that's going on with you, I am more inclined to believe that these YouTubers,
they gave it to these YouTubers to kill the story, to exhaust it, to get people tired of it, to promise they're going to do it. Exactly. To protect the trans rights agenda.
And then
the Obama administration worked so hard to get accepted.
Mhm. And they're not
You
even
know,
doing it to protect the people. Let that be clear. Like they're protecting their own agenda. I want the children to get this.
like people keep
Not protecting it.
forgetting about Joan Rivers saying what she said. And Joan
Girl,
was a
y'all
lot
know
of
that y'all
things,
was the
but a
first ones that
liar she
tweeted
was
it, right?
not. Huh?
It was y'all that told me that she said that. I did not know that
Yeah.
that came out of her mouth. Now that I do know, oh
She was
no.
dead right after that too.
Girl, listen. And this is why I said the children going to have to go down the rabbit holes themselves.
Oh no 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 no
They're not
no.
ready.
Now you know. Wait a minute. We done stumbled onto something here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've finally broken through the firewall
Mm-hmm.
of controlled media, we know that Mr. LC, who runs YouTube, who's friends with Mr. Carter, Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Carter's friends with Barack Obama. Barack
Mm-hmm.
Obama was working very hard to push the trans agenda, and
Mm-hmm.
people have been silently accusing him of being married to a trans female for all of these years. You know, when people get in power, they tend to use their power to help push their agenda for themselves and those that they love.
Mm-hmm. These
Like
people.
that bill that they pushed through that was supposed to be for blacks, but really it was just for gays. And they used the
Mm-hmm.
Jussie Smollett fake MAGA 8 story to get that bill pushed through. We need to go back and check and see what
Yeah.
Congress was working on in the trans agenda when the Shanquilla Robinson story popped up.
If I'm not mistaken, there were a few things
Because if
because
they
I
were
was
trying to pass a trans bill and that story could have killed it,
what year again was this?
October
Shanquilla?
2022,
There
she
were a few bills
passed
like that. I remember.
October 20, huh?
Mhm. There were a few states working to get laws passed in regards to that. They were trying to make the transgender a protected person. That I remember. That was going on all throughout
They were trying to
2020.
make the they were trying to make the transgender a protected person around that time.
Mm-hmm.
If they had have
Mm-hmm.
made a formal arrest of Shanquilla
Girl, no,
Robinson's
it
assailant,
would have matched that. It would have
that
matched
would
that.
have killed all of that.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
No way people would have got behind that.
You're
Women would have
absolutely
stood
not
up.
only that,
Women would have said, oh my goodness.
not only that, the rest of the world was dead set against it. They had multiple nations where they were trying to pass that stuff, and they were like, "Man, if you don't take that shit back to America, we're gonna have a problem." You know how many countries that America was claiming they
The
put tariffs
Shanquilla
on and everything?
Robinson unalivement. If
Mm-hmm.
they had have actually put a transgender female in cuffs and on trial,
For that?
that would have
Mm-hmm.
killed the trans. That would have killed all that trans stuff quickly,
Yeah.
quickly, quickly.
Yep.
So they
Yep.
got YouTube to come in and make a circus of it and exhaust people with it so they would
The new
stop
mainstream.
asking questions and looking at what the real agenda was they were trying to protect.
Mm-hmm.
No different than they're doing with me and Jay-Z.
Yeah. Like, I hope that everyone sees this. You literally kicked the door down. Do you know how many stories we can go back in? Like, just go
I
back
just exposed the media for being fakes and frauds. I just
on the
exposed them. They've been using all of these social media. Notice what it said. It wasn't regular news reports. They said internet journalists And
Mm-hmm.
amateur blogger news people are the ones that broke the story. They came to YouTube to break this thing to make it look like something was going on just so they can bury it, and then all of the weirdo content creators jump on it. You got weirdo daddy, word avenger. It cheapened the justice.
Mm-hmm.
All of that shit that they did actually killed the investigation. Too
Yeah.
many people were spouting too many things. Too many people were doing this. Too many people were doing that. This content creator was running after one of the Cabo Six, then the other one of the Cabo Six, then the other one of the Cabo Six. Then they started getting into their personal lives. Then they made it so tabloid and cheap.
Mm-hmm. But that's how I
Hmm.
know that it was at least a real story. They had to work overtime to make sure that it didn't go anywhere.
To make sure that nobody was interested in it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Because if it was one of their disinformation stories, it would have went all the way to the very end. This
Exactly.
one collapsed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They know how to make stories and they know how to break stories. And they were all taught by CIA operatives.
Yeah. It's a shame. All they got for their trouble was, bad habits
If
and
people
stress.
knew how many ex-CIA worked for YouTube, they would be terrified.
Mm-hmm.
They bring them in as consultants. Independent contractor consultant. Independent contractor consultant. All former CIA. To take agents from the CIA and to implant them in American media to work their little gambits. The CIA was created to get intelligence on what's happening in the world, not what's happening in America. The CIA is not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be surveillancing or influencing America in any way. That division of our government is supposed to be focused on worldly issues to warn America. Why would a social media platform like YouTube need to hire ex-CIA intelligence operatives unless the government wanted to manipulate the media? And with YouTube being attached to Google, whatever is happening on YouTube is happening on Google.
We already know who they're going to hit us first.
What's Spirit saying? What
So
what is
we're on it. We're
what's
on it.
going
Like
on with
the
Shanquilla?
alignment.
No, what's going on with Shanquilla?
There's a story that's hidden there. That needs to be uncovered. Because now that we have a different viewpoint, that's why I said what I said. The only thing that lets me know that this was real was because they had their interest to protect.
Yep.
That's the
They
only
wanted
thing
to
that
make
lets me
sure
know
that
that.
they could control the story, and they wanted to make sure they could control how it collapsed. That girl has been gone for over 2 years now, and none of them are working anymore to get justice for Shanquilla. Especially not Dummy Danny, who promised right around the anniversary of her passing that she was going to get back to investigating the Shanquilla story so that they could help Mr. Robinson get justice. Blah, 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 blah. I hope that man sues them.
Hmm, girl, okay. I hope he sues the cat too. Girl, like, sue their grandma, sue their uncle, sue their best friend around the corner, get everybody. No.
Mr. Robinson should go after every last one of these YouTubers for
Girl,
collapsing his daughter's story so she can't get justice because they were trying to protect the trans agenda in America.
mm-hmm.
His daughter wasn't unalived by a woman. She was unalived by a man in a dress. Who no doubt suffers from very severe emotional issues. And they all sat around and let that man unalive that woman.
Yes. Yeah, that's the
And
part that
covered
got
it
me.
up.
Yeah.
The simple fact that all of those weirdos, the Cabo Six, is walking around free in America.
Yes.
You want to know what makes all of the YouTube justice for Shanquilla stuff so disgusting?
Mm-hmm.
All the money they made off of it.
Mm.
I wonder how much of that they shared with Mr. Robinson.
Mm.
I wonder if Mr. Robinson knows how much money they made off of his daughter's unalivement. Ooh, YouTube's in trouble. Meanwhile, they running around creating all this Jaguar-right distraction and act like they totally forgot about this young woman whose story they
Oh
said they
no.
cared about so
Their hope
much.
is that what they did to Shanquilla will succeed with you, and it's not. They look crazy, and as a matter of fact, this is a fine example of what happens when you play around, and God is not pleased because they're doing the exact same thing. In fact, we're probably going to find 10 more stories, probably by the end of the week, of them doing these psyops on YouTube. And you're the first person where not only did it not work, it came around and it went around full circle. Like I'm like, how many, like, I'm really like, my mind is going at about 500 right now. I really want to know how many more of these news stories that social media stood behind and YouTube was at the forefront of the coverage.
I think we're going to have to take a deep dive on all
No,
relevant
for real.
social issues
Mm-hmm.
that broke on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube before it broke on
Mm-hmm.
mass media.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to look like YouTube was put in place
Mm.
to keep real media from ever getting to the truth.
Well, yeah, you saw what happened with MSM. You can't listen to CNN or Fox or nobody no more. They knew that, journalism was going digital. They
Most
had
of
a plan.
these people on television are following social media sleuths anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they're reporting
Isn't
it
it
on
funny when
radio.
the educated and qualified start following the news coming from uneducated and unqualified
Girl,
people?
isn't it? I was tired of shit.
Oh,
Girl,
that poor Jamie Wells. That poor Jamie Wells, she felt so bad, but she did write a good retraction. But she found that story on social media as well from an overseas person. And we're going to get to that company because the origin of that lying story about me saying that P. Diddy had HIV came from
it's
an out of the country source, and then Jamie Wells ran with it. I guess she figured if it was credible for them to run with, she could run with it too.
Mm-mm.
How many real journalists are depending on internet sleuths for their content? It's a very embarrassing thing, but I do appreciate the retraction.
No,
But
at
what
this
it
point,
did
I think
was,
that's what they all depend on. Like, I don't even think the old school journalists, except for you and Unc, exist anymore. And that's sad. At
they're
least not.
just as lost too because all of the information that they research on Google is being influenced by YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And
But a
because all
man
of
who
those
was
dollars are
using the
allowed to be
Google AI
published on
came out
YouTube.
and said that they playing with it.
And
Like,
that's
oh,
something you can take a lie from YouTube and turn it into the truth on Google.
mm-hmm.
That just sounds haphazardly. Meanwhile, old dummy Danny done forgot all about poor Shanquilla. Had a whole channel dedicated to it. Truth teller Danny, and we're going to get to the bottom. Shanquilla, oh. Then the
Yeah,
second anniversary of her
I wonder how
passing
live
comes.
she's doing tonight.
Oh no, I'm just saying the second anniversary of Shanquilla's passing came this year, and they were more worried about trying to one up me and Odell than getting back to justice for Shanquilla. She
I
promised her
see it.
people that they were gonna get back to that, and guess what? She ain't
Mm-hmm.
posted nothing but
Okay.
me and
I
all
dare her to
things
post up tonight.
Jaguar Right.
Dare her to post up about Shanquilla for the next 8 hours tonight. Do that.
What do the cards say? What is Shanquilla experiencing?
There's a lot of warmth now. It was cold when we first started with this. It was very cold, and now it's warm.
She's happy somebody's trying to figure out the truth right now, isn't she?
But it got me.
Does she have
Shame on
any
all of y'all.
advice? Is there a word? Is there somewhere we can look where everyone else turned away, Shanquilla?
North Carolina.
What's
Texas.
in North Carolina?
Girl, it's like a trail. It's like a line I'm seeing. It's like North Carolina, Texas for some reason, and then California. Especially that California. Like I'm going to go find out. I want to know why is it that they went to California to do that. Like if the girls from the people from North Carolina, they should have went there. I'm very curious. But it all
Because
it
of
all spirals
Mexico.
from Mexico.
Because of Mexico.
All right. Yeah, right.
Because of where
My
Cabo
daddy and
is.
them was
Because
in
of the
North Carolina, right?
jurisdiction. It didn't happen in North Carolina, but her daddy's in North
No. I'm
Carolina.
talking about
And
when
all of,
her father got involved. Was he still out there in North Carolina?
I guess so. I think that's where he is. He might be there or possibly the DMV area. I'm not sure. I do believe he's on the West Coast. I never listened to any of their Shanquilla stuff. I always knew it was fake. I never watched any of the YouTube stuff about Shanquilla. I only paid attention to what I saw on the news. And what I saw on the
So did I.
news
That's why.
was very,
Yeah, it
very,
was.
very skimpy. It was already oversaturated on YouTube. Nobody
Yeah.
knew what to believe. They confused the storyline so much that nobody knew what to believe anymore. Why would the news jump on that? Public
Mm-hmm.
opinion had already been swayed.
You know who I was
I'm
watching
dunking my head, but I
alongside?
can still hear you underwater.
All right. The one person that I was watching alongside with the news reports, it was Lovely T. She was reporting on that too. That's how I found out about what the other internet sources were talking about, but I didn't dive deep in that. Some of them ran too. Some of them ran.
Some of what?
It's like some of them out there with that went out there to Mexico. They was dipping and ducking state lines and stuff.
Somebody's on the run?
No, no, no. They were at the time. Now I don't know if they
No.
still are anymore
No, I
because
remember hearing
stories
about it being on the run, but once again, no formal
yeah.
charges have been brought yet.
But yeah, and that's why I'm saying, oh, they could have been on the run, but they was on the run from, the
Is
right people.
YouTube protecting Shanquilla Robinson's unalive?
YouTube is protecting what their money needs them to protect, and their money comes straight from up top.
Exactly. But could
Hmm.
some of the YouTubers have gotten involved to
Gotten
help
involved.
out?
Gotten involved. They were hired. Like it
Well,
was
I
their
know they
job
were.
to do this.
I understand that. But is it possible
Hmm.
that some of these content creators decided to hide some of these people? Lead the public away from them?
Now,
I
if
mean, for
you
about a
don't
month and a half, they were going through all of those Cabo 6. I remember the thumbnails. I never watched, but I remember the thumbnails. They
were
created so much distraction.
some of them knew where they were. Were they hiding them? I can't say, but they knew where
Well,
they
I
were.
don't mean
They knew.
hiding them physically, but hiding them, covering them online. It's not him. It's not her. It's not him. I did the check and I checked this and I checked that, and they're not the one that did it, but such and such and such and
Now,
you
see,
know.
and that's what I'm saying. I wasn't listening to people who were directly saying that they was communicating or had inside knowledge. It was just lovely tea, and that's as far as it went. That's why I'm saying that I'm telling y'all, like, these people knew exactly where they were. Like, I don't know what they said, but when I'm saying that they all were reporting to the big boss, they went to the big boss because the big boss knew exactly where everybody was at, because the big boss had to make sure that the story didn't cause damage. That is what I'm feeling here. That is everything surrounding Shanquilla now. That's why I asked about her father. Like, is he at least still at home? Because I remember them mentioning kinfolk that they were like, oh, they was asking for money, but that sounds like it was lies and foolishness. So yeah, like,
You know, they actually called Mr. Robinson on the phone. That
what?
YouTuber Trees called him on the phone and was talking to him, trying to turn him against Danny. And they recorded, well,
Oh,
they played it live online, and then there was all kinds of stuff, and then Danny had to go, and Sean Davy Way had to go to Mr. Robinson and smooth it all over. Oh yeah, they did that this year.
it's funny that you mention all of these names. Like every single last one of them that were working at Shanquella's story are in your life. Every last one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, no, they're not about to sit here and play with me. Like, really? And this
How
is why
does
they scramble.
Shanquilla, how does
They're
Shanquilla
about to
really
lose their job.
feel? How does Shanquilla really feel about these YouTubers playing with her life and death like that?
Betrayal and judgment. Y'all been playing real nasty games, man. And
Mm.
I hope that you get everything that you worked for in full, double overtime.
Yes, let them all have their just desserts.
Oh yeah, gasoline gonna be leaning. Like,
This
mm-mm.
Shanquilla thing is about to come back and bite all of them in the ass, isn't it?
It sure is. It's better in every other story that went down just like this.
I
Oh,
think
that
it's time we do
avalanche.
some. I think it's time we do some research on that trans assailant,
Mm,
that man that unalived Shanquilla. I think it's time for us to look into him. What do you think?
Yeah, like all those pieces. It was a lot of chaos. It's funny. It's all about the comeback. That's exactly how it went. In fact, the last thing that I remember was that, oh, they fighting, they jumped in the trans people on behalf of Shanquilla, and then that was it. Boom. It was like the story never existed.
And then everything.
Uh-uh. Shame on y'all. And again, it's not to protect the people. Love who you want to. They're protecting their interests. And if they don't know by now, the trans people need to be careful because they're using y'all to get to the children.
They're going to turn them into the boogeymans of society to create civil unrest. Just like they did when they brought all those Haitians who they knew practiced voodoo to Ohio.
Mhm. Haiti
Oh,
is reporting that they slaying them out there in Haiti.
oh,
Sending
the
them over here,
division. Oh, the
but you're slaying them
division.
out here. Mm-hmm.
And I want to make this very clear to everyone who's listening. I have several transgender people in my life that I love very much. Trans women and trans men. This is an attack on trans. This is an attack on deception.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever that trans person did to Shanquilla, that should not reflect on decent, hardworking American trans citizens who are just living their lives as they see fit. It's all these little weirdo misfits that like to put on the identity of trans.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that's
Masquerading
posing
as
as
your ally.
trans, everybody that's posing as trans ain't trans.
Mm-mm.
There's a good sect of them that are just very angry people. And they want to outrage people. So they put on trans as a costume. But every now and then they run into somebody that they really don't like and the real them comes out. And that's what happened with that man in a dress that took Shanquilla Robinson's life because I don't believe that person is real trans either. I think they wanted the fake ones because the truth is, your average trans person is sweet natured
Mm-hmm.
and most times docile. When they put on the drag queen bravado, they get that way. But in real life, most trans people are very tranquil. They appreciate tranquility.
Mm-hmm.
They go through enough hell just trying to be themselves. They're not looking to create anywhere else. And see, this is the issue that I have with all of the division in the queer community because all of these different labels gives predators so many new different places to
Mm-hmm.
hide. It gives them
Mm-hmm.
a place to hide. They get to
Mm-hmm.
they get to use the jargon, use the language. It doesn't matter what anyone says. That man in a dress was a predator and took a woman's life, in my opinion, out of jealousy. What do spirits say about that? Am I wrong?
No, it's not a reach. And like I said, it needs to go deeper. Like it's very much deeper. I'm actually the only way that hmm, whoever was there, this person that we're talking about, child, you lucky that you did that at the right time. Meaning,
While the
had you
demonic
tried this
national
and
convention was still in
yes,
charge.
yes, you would have got nailed to the cross. You would have got nailed.
If Trump had been in
You would have
office, it would
it
have
would have been
been
over.
carnage.
Oh yes, no, mm-mm. It would have been a wrap. So,
And it would have also
as far as I'm
divided the
concerned,
black community yet again.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they wouldn't have want the black community
mm-hmm.
divided because they needed the black community to show some kind of solidarity so that they could trick black people into voting for a woman that wasn't.
but they don't
Mm.
want black women to fight with the trans women, but y'all want to turn the black women against the black men. Like there's too much going on with that. There's a lot that's gonna happen in January, and like I said, that person is lucky that the right people were in power at the time. We got away with it for now.
Look at all of the weirdos they let go
Mm-hmm.
just to hold on to an agenda.
Yes. Yes.
And then they want to call it femicide. There wasn't no woman on woman crime.
Mm-mm.
But I guess that's what femicide means, being killed, I'm sorry, being unalived just because you're a woman.
And Mexico knows all about that. The rest of the world knows about that. You would think America would spot that easily too.
America sees it just fine. It's ignoring it for a reason.
The right reason. They ain't gonna be able to ignore it now.
Does Shanquilla want us to go further? Does she want us to keep on? Because if she wants to be left alone, I'll leave it alone. But if she wants us to dive a little deeper, we will.
Let's just say that she's a light now.
Oh, I know she's a beacon.
Oh no, like that's what's coming next. Like she
Wait till
be
she
the light.
turns into a flame.
Mm-hmm. And it's coming. Like it's really a shame. Like the energy that came from this one. There's no malice anywhere. And I remember like her father was saying that she wasn't a malicious girl, and everybody was talking about that. Like, I'm tired of them coming for the good people. I'm tired, and that time is done. That time is done.
They sacrificed that woman's justice so that they could push their trans agenda.
Yeah.
And let a maniac go free, pretending to be something he's not.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling the children, don't you let these deceitful liars in your midst. They're using your pain and your plight and your journey to deceive,
and they made money on it.
Destroy. Yeah.
They made money on it. So much money.
Mm-hmm. Like, man, did y'all even help that man get his daughter
always the
back?
same usual suspects.
Yeah.
When it comes to all of this YouTube nefarious foolishness, it always comes back to Tasha K, Sean Davy Wade, King Payne, Danny Robinson, A2 Titties. It always comes back to the same usual suspects.
And do you want to know why? Oh, Spirit, thank you.
What?
You remember how everybody, I think it was around George Floyd. Oh, black people, we are the media. We are the news. Black culture. We are the world. The world is influenced by us. Uh-huh. YouTube got strange once I realized that. Uh-huh. You sure right, Spirit? They're going to keep using us.
Until we make them stop.
Yeah. I'm just disappointed by how many I see are so willing. Go along, get along.
Desperate people do desperate things.
We are an amazing people. We're not going to be that desperate one breath, but then at the other breath, y'all going to talk about something. Everybody looks up to be like us. Well, then y'all need to start acting like it.
Why would they do that? They don't even know who they are themselves. They don't even know who they are themselves.
That's all right. We'll be
These are confused people. These are confused people on a Luciferian agenda leading more confused people.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Shanquilla coming back to get y'all.
I told y'all stop playing in this round. I told y'all.
Did I tell you Dummy Danny got a new AI psychic
Girl,
medium?
yeah, I hope the psychic get. I hope that AI psychic tells her everything that she wants to hear. You're right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You gotta be
Enough to wait
pathetic.
for Cleo to come for you first, girl. Okay.
You gotta be pathetic. When you start playing around with things, you better watch what you welcome them into your life. Cause
Girl, I be trying to tell them.
one of these days that AI medium psychic is gonna talk without
Mm-hmm.
her typing it in.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Have
Oh,
fun.
oh, I
What
can't
about
wait.
Cleo gonna have a fun time?
I can't wait till her AI medium becomes inhabited by a real spirit. Woo! It's
Girl.
coming.
Girl, we tried telling them. Now we're not telling them nothing. We're gonna look back and laugh.
Keep playing.
It's a
Keep
beautiful
playing with
time for the
fire.
right ones. Mm-hmm. Keep on.
Mm.
Keep on.
You know, we need to talk
Keep on.
about the tunnels too. We won't talk about that
Girl.
today.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. We'll get them next time. We'll be nice. Girl, they lucky that you say be nice. Oh,
How about you not be? Give the word and give the warning. Give it plain. You
a
have
lot
the
of y'all
floor,
going straight to
Grace.
hell on this in this reality. You're not dying first. You're gonna catch hell in this reality. We'll talk about the tunnels next time. A lot of y'all gonna walk yourself straight into that tomb. It's gonna be hot and metallic. No one will be able to hear you scream. We will not care.
And for everyone who is sitting in side chats and panels.
Perpetrating in line.
Oh, no, no, no. They keep talking about 2025 is going to be different for Jag. She's going to hit the wall this year. Jag is going to hang herself. She'll be gone in no time. Jag is going down in 2025. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Well, y'all better start paying attention to your local tree. You better start paying attention to the sky above you. You might want to pay attention to the ground that you're walking on instead of worrying about what's going on with Jaguar, because 2024 was just a taste test. Y'all not gonna make it. A lot of us know y'all not gonna make it, and we don't care that you don't make it
Nope.
because we're gonna make it, and we have a world to rebuild. Have fun in hell, for real,
Enjoy it.
for real. Hmm.
You better get used to it
You might as well.
because you're never going to leave it.
Mm-mm.
Never.
Mm-mm.
And for
Nope.
those who are plotting my downfall in 2025, I
Ooh.
want you to remember something. Y'all said that in 2023. You said it in 2024. If y'all haven't realized that I'm a vessel of God, and no matter what you do, there's nothing that y'all can do to harm me, you're crazy. And if you think that all of the negative karma you've ensued isn't going to come back like a boomerang and bust you in your mouth and leave you as toothless as Tysha Renee Johnson, you're stupid. Because it's coming.
Woo.
God is coming. And when God puts his feet on the ground quakes.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
Did I just see that hummingbird go by?
What you say?
You
What
know,
you
I gotta go to the spot.
say? Mm-hmm.
Every time the hummingbird comes to find me, it always leaves behind a sweet song. My son Giovanni came to me last night and he said, Mom, get ready. It's coming. And I asked him what? And he looked at me and he said, you know what?
Mm.
It's coming.
Mm. Mm.
You can tell these
All of
people ain't
y'all
got no respect
claiming
for their elders because they ain't got no respect for the ancestors.
at all. At all. These foolish mortals believe in nothing.
Well, I think we've said all we needed to say this morning. What about you? We got some research to do.
Girl, listen. Mm. Your vibration high, children. Mm-mm. This
Well,
is a
know what's
terrible
funny?
time for you to be low. Yes, ma'am.
You wanna know what's really funny?
Mm-hmm.
Shanquilla Robinson was a child. She was born in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
She passed in 2022. She's 25 years old, just like John.
Yeah.
That's a child. Still. And they keep talking about save the children.
Mm-mm.
We ain't even getting justice for the ones that we let slip away.
Not paying attention to the ones in front of us. Like, they
They're
don't care.
so busy being distracted. And that's what I keep telling them. Everybody keeps talking about where are the kids, where are the kids. They in your face. Well, on that note, I just want to say to everyone who's listening, be careful what you let slip in your ear.
Yes.
And when something as traumatic and serious and socially relevant, it's the death of a young black woman who wasn't even doing nothing wrong. For that to just go off into some gentle goodnight. I know how her father feels. You know? I think that's part of the reason I didn't want to have anything to do with the story, just because it reminded me. I lost my child at when he was 25. And his daughter has gotten no justice, just like my son didn't. I got a piece of justice. His unalive killer finally went to jail. He got to unalive 2 more people before they sent him. See, they were willing to send him to jail for unalivement. They just weren't willing to send him for my sons. They said he was a good boy, had never gotten into trouble, but he ran with a gang. And he was trying to get a deal with Rock Nation. I'm so sick of that Rock Nation. Rock Bottom Nation. Because that's exactly where that company has led this country, to rock bottom. I think I'm going to make that a new hashtag. Rock Bottom Nation. Rhymes with abomination, doesn't it?
Girl,
Rock bottom nation, abomination,
the wordplay.
Obama nation. Hmm.
Oh,
The things that we listen to and let slip right by
uh,
like a thief in the night.
girl's more like a raccoon in the night.
I want to send my warm regards to the father of Shanquilla Robinson, Mr. Robinson. I lost my son at 25, just like you lost your daughter at 25. They had their whole lives ahead of them. And they were grown and they were doing their thing. And you know, that's when a parent can finally take a real deep breath when their child is grown up and making a way for themselves. And you say, okay, I got you here. I got you here. And then someone takes them. My heart goes out to you, sir. And whether you know it or not, I pray for your healing. Because getting over the loss of a child is, at times, feels impossible. I hope you know your daughter is happy and smiling. And as angry as she is at what they did to her life and how social media, where she was an actual up and coming star on, they use that very medium to steal her justice from her. You have my prayers, sir. And I pray you have a wonderful new year. You ain't got to worry about me calling you, trying to convince you I'm an ally. We don't need to be friends for me to do what needs to be done for your daughter. I don't want to see another parent have to go without getting justice for their child. Like I was forced to go without getting justice for Javan. Salute to Sloan Bella, who lost her grown son. I pray for you as I now believe you pray for me. You know, it's a strange club to be in. Parent of a deceased child. You watch them come, you watch them go. I think that's what makes the song I want to end with today so important. Everybody's out here doing something, but what are they doing it for? People just doing things, but what are you doing? Does it really add up to something? What is the sum of Shanquilla Robinson's life? All she wanted to do was make the world pretty, make little kids pretty. I wonder if anybody bothered to keep her businesses going. Or is all that she worked for in that short 25-year trip, has that faded away just like her justice? You know, people gotta stop playing with the parents of deceased children. You will find no justice there. You will only find karma. You know, I wrote a song right after Nip passed away, Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, another grown son that a mother was forced to lose in an awful, terrible way. But When I think about when Nip was taken, it tore me to pieces. That was Giovanni's favorite rapper. He loved Nip, and he was following everything that Nip was doing, and he was all into the technology that Nip was into, and that's why he was like, yeah, Mom, I'm ready to put out my EP. I'm not going to sign no contract. I want to go independent. Nip, man, he done changed the game with technology. Nip, man, Nip is so smart, man. What he's doing, it's going to change everything. My son died that September, 4 days after his birthday. And Nipsey was gone 6 months after that. And Nip had just been to Dallas. He was just in Highland Park shopping. And then we saw what we saw live on TV. And I sent a Smokey Norfolk song. I sent it out to Nip's mom. I dedicated it to her on Instagram, and Snoop shared it. It was Smokey Norfolk, I thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. And I told her, no matter what they've taken from you, just keep thanking God for your life and all of the life you had with your son. I know what it feels like to lose. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. You know, we have to teach our children that life is not a guarantee. That we don't know how much time any of our children will have. Let's make sure we're encouraging them to turn their lives into something while they have them. To make every day count. To focus on what God needs them to do. That's what parents are supposed to do. You know, Martin Luther King died a young man. Tupac died a young man. So many of our great young black men have died so early. And yet, everything that they did while they were here. I wish Giovanni could have gotten to touch more people's lives. He was such a light in so many ways. He could be dark too. In so many ways, just like his mother, you know.
Nothing wrong with duality. That's a beautiful part of it.
But duality is life. Duality is life. But when he shines bright, One of the finest. One of the finest.
Wait, Kitty, can you still hear me? You sound far away.
Oh, it's me. Can you hear me?
You sound still. It sounds staticky.
I know. Hold on a second. That's the face. Grace right there. That's my son. That was sixth grade. Yeah. I'm not sixth grade. He was 6 years old. That was first grade. And this
They
is
do.
the
The children
song.
deserve so much better.
Huh?
I said, girl, the children deserve so much better.
I know. But this is the song that I wrote for him and Nipsey Hussle 2 weeks after Nipsey passed away. The name of the song is It's Deep. The message is simple. Do it for something. Whatever time you have, do not take it for granted. Make the most of it. I'm grateful for the time that I had with my son. Just like I know Shanquilla's father is grateful for the time he had with her. Of course, we wanted more. Of course, we didn't want them to go first. But it happened. And even if they're not here to do it for themselves, those that are left behind can do it for them. Pick up that mantle. Javani loved making people smile. Don't throw your lives away. Don't waste them. Whatever you're going to do in this life, make sure you do it for something. Something that matters, something that counts. Salute to Yoda, who produced this track. I wrote it, and we created it together in honor of my son and the late Nipsey Hussle. May you take your victory lap forever.
Do it for something. If you're gonna give the game up real quick, make sure you do it for something. If you're going to give it all up, then never thought I'd live to see 25. Just to live past it, see my son die at 25. Now Nipsey Hussle's gone, his favorite rapper, less than 1 year and I've lost 2 kings. Monuments to a future so bleak. Do it for something. If you're gonna give the game up real quick, make sure you do it for something. If you're going to give it all up, then everything you kiss, everything you missed, everything you diss, everything you climb for, everything you strive for, everything that you die for, everything that you lied for, everything you cried for, just make sure in the end it's worth dying for. And make sure it's something. Do it for something. If you're gonna give the game up real quick, make sure you do it for something. If you're going to give it all up, then don't give up. Life's too short, short enough.
I just don't like playing with gang culture, playing with, you know, hip hop, things that people that change their life, people that come from nothing, you know what I mean, use it as method to empower themselves and take care of their family. I get offended when people, you know, they treat it as a disposable thing or as something that could be controlled, played with, build business models around joking, playing with artists, you know, when they struggle, they go through, you know what I'm saying? I take offense to it.
If you're gonna give it all up, do it for something.
Do it for something.
If you're gonna give the game up real quick, make sure you do it for something. If you're going to give it all up, then never thought I...
Oh my God.
This is why you have my respect. Like, you get it. Do it. Make the world a better place because it's what's needed. That's it.
Well, if they don't get it, that's on them. You know, my bro Anton always says, check up on your strong friends. Let's make sure we keep checking up on people. Keep checking up. Let's not be so quick to let important matters disappear because they're not popular anymore. Popularity doesn't make them important. Justice does. Justice for Shanquilla. Justice for Javan. Justice for Nipsey Hussle. Justice for Tupac Shakur. Justice for Christopher Wallace. Justice for Big L. I mean, if I could just think of every great young black person that died before 30, we'd be here for another hour just so I could finish the names.
That was nice. We'd be here for 2.
Well, it's time for us to push on. We got research to do. There's a lot of people on YouTube talk about clocking in and clocking out. But they forget to check in, don't they? It's time for people to wake up. Y'all know where to find me, and if you don't know where to find me, all you have to do is get on over to FT.GRACE. Everywhere I am, it'll show you where. And I hope y'all keep checking on me, like I keep on checking on y'all. Justice is more than a word, it's an action. It's a verb. Let's start acting like it is. And before we go, I just want to send a shout out to little Angie White, also known as Black China, daughter of Shalana Hunter Tokyo Tony. I got to check up on her. She's freestyling online last night talking about if she passed away and if she don't make it, as long as her daughter does, she's happy.
Oh, Lord.
You better stop that, Toke. If the miraculous change and course of direction that Angie has made in her life, from hell raising to heaven healing, you thought that that tattoo was the end of her, and I told you different, didn't I? And that tattoo's gone, and your daughter is back. Just like I said. Y'all should really stop listening to people that don't know me. Start worrying about people that actually have met me and do know me. Salute to Dr. Angela White. You are one of the children who made it, and we salute you. Your mother at one time thought you were going to end up like this young man here on this screen, and here you are, clean, sober, godly, and raising your family, about to get married again and make a real life for yourself. And you made it out of the Illuminati. God bless you, child. Anything else, Grace, before we let Angie speak?
Look up our Moja children. We are together. Let's start acting like it.
Through all things. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto all of you, and take peace into your new year. Don't forget, how you started is how you will live it. Start it right so you can live it right. And we're going to let Angie take us out of here. Peace, y'all. Keep checking up on us. We're going to keep checking up on y'all. I've been praying for you.
Who that right there?
So long.
She love you, Angie. I don't know what it's like.
You might know about her persona, but you met her in person. What do you?
She's a baby doll, sweetheart. But we already know this.
Because people think she's.
I know it.
And then when you meet her in person, you're like.
Yeah, it's just a perception that everybody else has. But once they get past that part, she's the one who's like us. It's like real people, That's the difference. When you're authentic, people can't take it. I mean, because people say the same thing about me. They're like, why don't you love me ass? And I'm like, no, I'm so sweet. She'll be chilling. You know what I mean? And I feel like she'll just handle people how they treat her. And that's just what it is. And that's just law within girl.
Start.
Yeah. Love you for that.